All right, let's dive into a framework that has totally changed how businesses talk about what they do. We're talking about Donald Miller's Building a Story Brand. We're going to break down why some marketing messages just click, while most of it is just expensive noise. So let's get right into it and figure out why you might be getting ignored in the first place.
So, does this feel familiar at all? You've poured your heart and soul into a fantastic product or service. But when you go to tell the world about it, it's just crickets, right? You feel like you're shouting, but nobody's listening. It is an incredibly common, super frustrating feeling, and you know what? There's a very specific reason why it happens.
And here it is. Here's the tough truth behind all that frustration. It's not really you, it's biology. The human brain is actually hardwired with this super powerful filtering system. I mean, it has to be, or we'd be completely overwhelmed. The problem is, most marketing messages never, ever make it past that filter. They are ignored by default.
But what if you had the key to bypass that filter? What if you could put together a message so clear, so compelling, that your customer's brain literally couldn't help but pay attention? Well, that is exactly what we're going to unpack. There is a formula for this, and it all starts with understanding why you're being ignored to begin with. So let's start right there, with the problem. This is the foundation of the whole StoryBrand idea. It's not about having a better product, it's about having a clearer message.
The biggest threat to your business's growth? It is not your competitor down the street. It's the constant, overwhelming clutter of information that your customers are wading through every single day. Most marketing, instead of cutting through that clutter, just adds to it. And that noise doesn't just get ignored. It actually repels the very customers you're trying to reach.
The science behind why all that noise fails is pretty fascinating. See, your brain's #1 job isn't to sit around and admire your clever ads. It's to keep you alive. That means it asks one main question for every single piece of information it sees. How does this help me survive and thrive? And if the answer isn't immediately obvious, or if it takes too much mental energy, literally too many calories, to figure it out, the brain just hits delete. It moves on.
Think about it like this. You walk into a giant ballroom. Your brain doesn't bother counting the chairs. I mean, why would it? It's useless information. But it will always, without fail, clock where the exits are. Because in a fire, that information is critical. It's survival. Most brands position themselves as chairs. Kind of there, maybe interesting, but totally non-essential. To get noticed, you have to be an exit.
So how do you become an exit instead of just another chair? Well, it all starts by avoiding the single most common and most expensive mistake in all of marketing.
Every single customer on this planet wakes up as the main character, the hero in their own story. The huge mistake so many brands make is they try to be the hero too. They go on and on about their founding story, their mission, their greatness. But listen, the customer is not looking for another hero. They are looking for a guide to help them win. The second your brand plays the guide, you suddenly become essential to their story. This is the absolute perfect way to think about it. Luke is the hero. He's the one with the big problem. He's the one on the journey. Yoda is the guide. He's wise. He's been there, done that, and he gives Luke the plan and the tools he needs to blow up the Death Star. Your brand needs to be Yoda. And don't for a second think that being the guide means you're just some minor character. No way. Think about it. The guide is usually the strongest, most competent person in the whole story. Mary Poppins is practically perfect in every way, right? The hero, meanwhile, is usually kind of lost, confused, and full of doubt. That's how your customers feel, and they're actively, desperately looking for a competent, empathetic guide to show them the way. Okay, so you get it. You need to be the guide. But how do you actually do that? How do you communicate it? The great news is you don't have to guess. There's a proven 7-part formula that organizes your message in a way that just clicks with the human brain. It turns all that noise into music. And this is it. This is the framework that powers pretty much every movie or book you've ever loved. Let's walk through it. It all starts with a character. That's your customer, who has a problem. And this is so key, because if you don't talk about their problem, they have no reason to listen. Then that character meets a guide. That's you, who shows them some empathy and demonstrates authority. But the guide doesn't just feel their pain, they give the hero a plan, just a few simple steps to take. This gets rid of all that fear and confusion. Next, the guide calls them to action, a really clear, direct step like buy now or schedule your call. This is what moves the story forward. And finally, you show them what's at stake. You help them see how they can avoid failure, and you paint a picture of what life looks like when they finally achieve success. When you lay out your marketing using this exact map, you create a story your customer can finally see themselves in. Look, this isn't just some nice, fluffy theory. This is a framework that gets real-world results. When you finally clarify your message, customers see a clear path to giving you their money. Let's look at what that actually looks like. So take this photographer, Kyle Schultz. He was selling an online course. His original message was just full of techie jargon that meant absolutely nothing to his ideal customer, who was a parent who just wanted better pictures of their kids. So he changed it to speak directly to the result they actually wanted. It was simple, it solved their problem, and it made him the perfect guide. And the result? Just by changing the words on his website, he sent an email to the exact same list of people and quadrupled his revenue, from $25,000 to over $100,000. That is the power of clarity. He didn't change the product one bit, just the story he told about it. Or check out this aquarium company. They were really struggling to sell to anyone besides, hardcore hobbyists, because their marketing was all about the product specs. But when they switched gears to solve a parent's real problem, finding a fun activity for the family, all it took was 3 simple words. And would you look at that? By becoming the guide that helps parents win, they practically doubled their sales in the test market. It's almost crazy how powerful a simple, clear message can be. If you take only one single thing away from this entire explainer, please let it be this. This is the mantra. It's the heart of the whole StoryBrand philosophy. Clarity is king. Confusion is the ultimate enemy of sales. Just be simple, be clear, and be completely focused on your customer's success. And that brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. I want you to take a really hard look at your website, your emails, your ads. Who's the main character? If it's your brand, you have an incredible opportunity right now to change the story, to step into the role of the guide, and to finally connect with all those customers who are out there just waiting for you to help them win.